Good morning. This morning's message from Mull might be the fastest ever. The midge are out in platoons this morning. Perfect conditions for them. It's absolutely calm, overcast, and I'm getting mullered even on the bike today, which is unheard of. Normally they sort of bounce off me on the bike, but there's so many of them today. It's pretty horrendous. So I'm going to go mobile and walk around a little bit, try and keep out of the way of them. So today's message from Mull is, are you getting the message? And not the message from Mull, but a hormonal message. And because today we're talking about the endocrine system. And this is a system that you may not have heard of. And basically we're talking about a specialized network of glands and organs that release hormones into your bloodstream and elicit various responses within the body. So unlike the nervous system, where we use nerve impulses and neurotransmitters, the endocrine system uses chemical messengers in the form of hormones. So basically, specialized glands within your body detect changes and release hormones to elicit a response. So these hormones are released into the bloodstream and they travel to specific target cells or target organs and attach themselves and cause a response. And this is often referred to as a negative feedback loop. And the best way to describe that is if you think about your home thermostat system in your house. So the thermostat detects that the temperature is too low in the house, sends a signal to the heating system to initiate and to start heating the house. And then once the heating has reached a certain level in the house, that is fed back to the thermostat, and the thermostat stops sending a signal to the heating, and the heating comes off, and hopefully the temperature holds at about the right level for you. Very similar within the human body. And the good news is that exercise has a positive effect upon our endocrine system. So basically it helps us to produce more hormones. It strengthens the receptor sites on the target cells, and it improves organ function. So basically we send the messages more effectively, they can happen quicker, and we control bodily functions much better. So I thought I'd also just mention a few of those specialized glands that we're talking about. What I would give for a breeze at the minute, my goodness. So let's start with the pituitary gland. This sits in your brain, and this is responsible for the release of growth hormone. Now that helps us to develop bone tissue, to repair ourselves. It helps with all sorts of tissue production, and also it helps to the pituitary gland helps to release endorphins into our bloodstream, and these are the guys that give us a natural high, and this tends to happen after exercise. As you probably know by now, when you've done a good session at the gym or you've had a good walk, you often feel much better afterwards mentally, and that sort of release of endorphins helps to reduce pain, and it helps to control tension and anxiety. So all good for us. The thyroid gland is responsible for the release of thyroxine. Now some of you might be on a drug called levothyroxine, and thyroxine's function basically is to increase metabolism. It also plays a key role in maintaining body temperature. So again, with regular exercise, this process becomes more effective. Your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys, and they're responsible for the release of cortisol. And this is our stress hormone. And as we've talked about before, if that continues for long periods of time, that's not good for us. So I got to keep moving. But in short periods, an acute response, it's absolutely fine. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's basically engaged in our fight or flight response. So it increases blood flow, speeds up our heart rate, increases blood pressure, and it helps us to increase the amount of glucose in our blood. So basically it produces more energy available for us. So all the TSL guys going, wondering why I'm talking to myself on top of the mountain. And it also has an anti-inflammatory effect. So cortisol response in short periods at the right time is not a bad thing for us. It's when it's turned on all the time, when we're suffering long-term stress or anxiety, that's when it starts to have a really detrimental effect. So our adrenal glands and the release of cortisol, really important. Our adrenal glands also release something called aldosterone, had to write that one down, and that one's really important for controlling hydration levels as well. I wish there was a hormone that can control the Scottish midge. That would be quite helpful. Also the thymus, another specialized gland, and we talked about that when we mentioned the immune system, and that's because it's responsible for the creation of white blood cells, and these are the guys that seek out infections and germs and destroy them before they become nasty. And finally, the pancreas, and if you're a type 2 diabetic, you probably know all about this. The pancreas releases a very important hormone to us called insulin, which helps to control our blood sugar levels. And insulin's a kind of a key that helps blood glucose get from the blood into the active muscle tissue. And the pancreas also releases a hormone called glucagon, and that's important for releasing energy from our liver. Our livers are like a backpack of stored energy. So if you go walking up into the hills, like I have around me here, and you would take your provisions for the day to keep you going, the liver's a bit like that. And it needs a signal though to break down that stored energy and release it into your bloodstream. So pancreas plays a very, very important role in keeping our energy levels constant and making sure we have enough blood glucose to perform our everyday tasks and exercise when it's called upon. And the good thing about exercise is that it improves our insulin sensitivity. So when we start to suffer with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, it's often because we have lost our sensitivity to insulin, and it basically doesn't do the job that it's supposed to do anymore. And regular exercise is one of the best ways of improving insulin sensitivity beyond any drug, basically. So another really good reason why we should be getting some regular exercise. Now, I said it would be quick, it's still 8 minutes, and I've been absolutely hammered. So I'm going to finish there, and hope that made sense. And have a good day. If you go walking, put your mid spray in today, or pray for a little bit of a breeze to get up. I will go back and pedal through the clouds and go for breakfast. So as always, stay safe guys, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye bye.